Morant is one of the most exciting young players in the NBA. He has ridiculous highlights. He's hyper athletic with insane body control. I mean, you're seeing it right now. He's doing a 360 in a playoff game. But dunking is not the only thing Ja does well. He's also an amazing finisher. Playmaker is extremely fast and single-handedly runs the Grizzlies' offense. One player that is commonly compared to Ja is Derrick Rose. Yes, the Chicago Bulls legend. But can Ja really reach the level of the youngest MVP? Well, today, we're going to be breaking down 3 things. How good can Ja Morant be? How similar is Ja to Derrick Rose? And finally, can Ja become as good or even better than the Rose himself? So, let's get into the video. How I'm going to figure out how good he can be is by looking at how good he can be at every attribute of basketball. So let's start with, in my opinion, the most important attribute of basketball, playmaking. Ja is already an elite playmaker. As I mentioned earlier, Ja Morant completely runs the Grizzlies' offense. He scores and facilitates for the team. His assist numbers, which he averages only 7.4 assists, don't tell you enough of what he does for the team. If you watch the Grizzlies, the majority of points are created by Ja. Unfortunately, I can't prove this to you because there's no stat that shows this, so you just gotta trust me on this one. Ja also, like I said earlier, is an amazing finisher and dunker. 43% of Ja Morant shots are within 5 feet, and he shoots them at a 57% rate. He's also able to get to the line a lot, averaging 4.5 free throws a game. The problem though is, that's his only real way of scoring, is finishing and getting to the line. He shoots about 3 threes a game on only 30% from the 3-point line. That's really poor, and especially for a guard. The other problem is that he can't even shoot the midi efficiently, so he pretty much only can score efficiently at one level. That's kind of a problem, especially in the modern NBA. But I do think this will change. As a guard in the modern NBA, you have to be able to shoot. And for Ja to reach his full potential, he's going to have to learn how to shoot. Low-key, his scoring is mad similar to Zion. Oh, on Zion, I made a video on Zion Williamson about 2 weeks ago, and you should definitely check that out. You can check that out at the end of the video. It should be on the end screen. Let's get back to it. But the question is, do I think he will improve at shooting? I think he will, for sure, but this one's really hard to tell if he'll ever be a good shooter. Other guards similar to Ja never developed a jump shot, so honestly, it'd be hard for me to tell you if he will or will not develop a jump shot. Well, a good jump shot. I think his shooting will easily get to 35%, but that's not really good. If he does develop a good jump shot, though, he's a complete offensive guard, being an elite playmaker, elite finisher, a good shooter, and a good ball handler, which is the next thing. Ja is not a great ball handler right now, especially on the pick and roll. He only averages 0.87 points per possession, and that is 37th out of the 49 players that average more than 5 possessions a game. But like other point guards, that's going to change. He's still really young, so I expect that one to get way higher. So offensively, he has the chance to be complete at every aspect of basketball. But defensively, he's very average. To look at his defensive stats, they're not great. But defense for guards is just not that important. It's kind of an added bonus. If you don't have it, it is what it is. Your team can hide you. But I mean, it could be useful. Ja does have the abilities to be a good defender. He's laterally quick, and he can contest shots. So he very well could be a good / serviceable defender. So I mean, offensively, he's going to be amazing. And defensively, he's fine. So how similar is this to Derrick Rose? Well, looking at Rose's skill set, he's an elite playmaker and finisher, while being a below-average shooter and an okay defender. That's extremely similar to Ja. But how similar has their performances been in their first 2 years? Well, in Ja's rookie year, he averaged 18 points, 4 boards, and 7.5 assists on 31 minutes per game, while getting to the line 4.5 times on 48, 33, 78 splits. Rose, on the other hand, averaged 17, 4 boards, and 6 assists on 37 minutes per game, getting to the line 3 times on 48, 22, 79 splits. Looking at both their shot charts, they don't look that similar, but if you say mid-range shots are like threes, they're mad similar. I'm doing this because people didn't really shoot threes in 2009, and people don't really shoot mid-ranges in 2021. Derrick Rose and the Bulls, though, did make the playoffs as a 7 seed. This is unlike Ja, who did not make the playoffs at all. During this playoff series against the Celtics, he averaged 20, 6 boards, 6 assists, 49, 0, and 80. Yeah, he didn't shoot any threes, but on 45 minutes a game. He lost in 7 against the Celtics, though, but that's quite good, especially being the 7th seed. Ja and Rose both won Rookie of the Year that year, so I mean, that award is another thing that's quite similar. In their sophomore season, Derrick Rose made an all-star appearance, but Ja Morant did not. This is partially because Rose definitely did play better, as his stats were 21 points, 6 assists, 4 boards on 49, 27, 77, while Ja only averaged 19, 7.5 assists, 4 boards on 45, 30, 73. So Rose definitely did have a better season, but the NBA back then was also weak. If Rose averaged those numbers in 2021, he probably wouldn't make an all-star appearance. So Ja pretty much didn't improve at all in his sophomore season. Rose had a way bigger improvement, and I mean, looking at their shot chart, it's really similar to last year. Derrick Rose didn't really shoot threes, Ja didn't shoot mid-ranges. This year, though, they both made the playoffs. While the Grizzlies didn't really finish top 8, they made it through the play-in, beating the Spurs, and then they beat the Warriors. So both technically made it as an 8 seed. Rose in the first round played the LeBron Cavs and lost in 5. Regardless of them getting blown out, Rose averaged 27, 7, 3.5 on 46, 33, 82 splits in 43 minutes of game time. Elite. Rose may have played amazing, but Ja played even better. He played the top seeded Jazz, and just like Rose, he lost in 5. Ja was spectacular, averaging 30 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds on 49, 32, 78 in 41 minutes. Rose scored 40 and lost. This was also Ja's first playoffs, and he showed he was absolutely stunning and part of the future of the NBA. Both Rose and Ja stepped up severely in the playoffs. Ja did even more, but they both completely stepped up. I mean, Ja averaged 11 more points a game, while Rose averaged like 6 more points a game. To break it down their first 2 seasons, they both have a really similar skill set. Both won Rookie of the Year. Rose was an all-star in his second season, but in the modern NBA, those stats he put up were probably not all-star stats. Both finished as an 8 seed and lost in 5 in the first round, and both stepped up severely in the playoffs, but their team just wasn't good enough. Beside Rose's all-star appearance, they're literally identical. Honestly, if you put their regular season and playoff stats of their sophomore season, I couldn't tell who was who. As we all know, in Rose's third season, he led the Bulls to the number 1 seed in the East and won MVP, making him the youngest MVP in league history. But looking at this, Ja is on the path, if he doesn't get injured, to be one of the greats. I don't think he's going to win MVP next year, but I could easily see him as an all-star starter and a member of the All-NBA second or third team. The NBA is simply just stronger, so it takes some crazy improvement for him to be an MVP caliber player. As long as something doesn't happen to him, Ja is going to be great. He's on that path. So everyone's saying Ja is the most overrated player in the league and doesn't have as much potential as other guys. I think this video tells you that Ja is definitely not overrated, and he's on the path to be one of the greats. So definitely not overrated. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. If you did enjoy, please subscribe and hit that like button, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.